for the main living area by the kitchen. It sits on the cradle here by the toaster. When you're not in use, please charge it there. We're going to go over to the main area, and the main thing with this remote is you want to use that green button and firm press and point it directly at the TV. And it's a macro, so once you press that, it's going to take a minute for things to start happening. So now you have your sources. You have Apple TV, Dish, and Sonos. If you want to use one of the sources, you press the button next to it. We're on Dish right now, so as an example, you can see once I press the Dish button, all of the different inputs went away. So same thing as the theater remote. Whenever you want to get and switch your source, you always want to press this main button in the middle at the bottom of the screen, and that will show you your sources once again. So if you wanted to switch to Apple TV, then that would activate that button. But for now, if we're using Dish, the main thing to remember is that we have a Dish remote that we can use. I like using this remote instead of the programmed remote. It's just a little easier navigation. But remember, same as the theater, you're going to use your volume up and down button still on the main theater remote. So that being said, let's say we want to go to Apple TV. Again, we're going to press the main button, and then we're going to go to Apple TV. When we do that, we also, again, volume still controlled on this remote. We're going to want to use the Apple TV remote that's in the breakfast nook. We keep it on the ledge there with the other remote for the DirecTV. So this is your normal Apple remote. You have your normal navigation buttons that everyone's used to. Again, volume's going to be over here. It's not going to work on the Apple remote. And when you are, the other thing is when you are switching sources to the Sonos, you're going to use Sonos when you want to use the amp to power Sonos for the whole house. You do not need this amp on. However, for this room, you need to have Sonos active. So you turn the amp on via this button. And that way, when you're on your Sonos app, you'll see that zone light up. I think it says living room. And but again, for that zone, you're going to use the volume control. It will not work on your Sonos app on the phone. It will only work on this volume. And remember, the Sonos app for the house is the gold app. It's not the black Sonos one. It's the Sonos 2 gold app on your phone. All right, when you're done with this, you're going to do a firm press on, you're going to do a light press on the red off button. Unlike the theater that needs a firm press, this just needs a very light touch and it turns off. Sometimes if you press it too hard, it will turn back on. The other thing is when things aren't working right, the worst thing to do is to try to start pressing buttons on the receiver. A lot of our guests have done that, and it tends to get the macros kind of confused. So only use this to navigate, and when all else fails, do the classic technical move of turning everything off and then starting over. And that usually will solve any kind of glitch problem. If things are not working with this remote, please give us a message, text us, call us, and try not to touch the buttons on the